Yeah, I'm gonna choose for the time being just to look past it because like we can't do anything about it now.
Fair.
What I will say is like for him, this is probably when it probably leans more into the opportuneness of it. Like he wasn't gonna. I don't think he was gonna be out there kicking butt anyways. I mean, maybe he picks up, maybe he bags Indy Wells or Miami, but yeah, whatever. Who cares, right? So like of all the times, I feel like it helps him from a resting his body standpoint, but I think it hurts him in that it allowed, like specifically Carlos Alcaraz, not to make this the Carlos Alcaraz show, but allowed him to find himself and really like now come into Paris a little more himself than he was when he left Australia the last time we saw Jannik. So back to kind of the maybe even wrapping up this conversation around the age and I think the interesting part about the players that are contending for championships right now, save for Novak Djokovic, Yannick's actually on the old end of that spectrum. He's 23, but the players who are between him and like Zverev, age-wise, you're talking about like Alex de Minaur, you're talking about Casper Ruud, we talked about Tsitsipas, we talked about FAA, right? There's not a lot of top end players ages 24 to 27 in the top 20. That is the missing generation right there. So
Right.
all Carlo, like Yannick being 23, all the way down to like Archer Feast being going to Mensik being 19 and Fonseca being 18, right?
Thank you.
As they age up in 5 years, right? Now Fonseca is 23 and Sinner is 28, right? Nothing but space right there.
Yeah.
It's gonna take some young guys behind them to push them, like, and they would have to be doing it ahead of the curve.
Because so many are 28, 29, you've got the 15, 16, 17s coming up that could still be relevant in that time frame, but so many of them dropping off by 30.
And I think the reason why the Carlos Alcaraz was probably able to get so many so young is because the guys who are older just weren't that good.
Now that I would agree with you, or I would say, I'm going to say it a little bit more, they weren't up to the level at the time. And I think that's the best way to say it, but I hear you. But let me say this. It speaks more to Carlos's greatness than it speaks to the level being down. It speaks to Yannick's greatness more than the level is always high, Al. The level is always good.
Of course.
Those players are simply better. And that's the crazy, you call it warrior mindset, call it Mamba mentality, call it whatever you want to call it. Everybody has a different spin, a different name, a different marketing approach to it. Champions just think and play differently, period. And at that point, I mean the top champions, all of our champions, the top champions just approach it differently. And I think that's really what we're talking about. And I would look forward to this next conversation. I want you to do me a favor and write this all down. And I want us to review the same conversation.
I'm recording it. I don't even write anything.
You know what I'm talking about? No. What I mean is a year from now, we're going to redo. We're going to come back at this. What is this? April the 20th, 2026. And we're going to review the matriculation of the players that are now 28, 29, 30 that start to move on. And we're going to start seeing, because let's face it, a handful of those players in the 30s are going to start retiring any day now.
Yeah, I don't care about that.
There may be another 15, 20 in the 29 to 32 range that may call it a day. And now who replaces them in that vacuum? The Al Fonsecas, the Jakob Mensik.
It's interesting. It's interesting because we talked about the prime being 27 to 31 and then 32 plus being, post prime.
Right.
But in the kind of, I'll call this the realm of relevance, right? Let's just say top 30 in the world.
Yep.
Top 30 in the world. There is one player between age 30 and 37. One. So it's not, and that's so you have to start looking at that as an anomaly, right? Grigor being top 20 right now in the world is I don't know how that happened, but it happened. So like if you just take the 30 plus guys who there aren't many of them and there's only 2 of them that are in the top 30.
Yeah.
Right? Take them out. Daniil Medvedev at age 29 is the oldest relevant player on tour right now.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah.
29.
Yeah.
29. So,
and because he's been relevant, mind you, Dimitrov was hurt for several of those years. He's playing to get back what he had. This is what I was getting at, Alvin, is that some of those players that are still playing have a reason. Not only are they top 10, but they have a reason to keep playing. Novak's still searching for 26. Any way he can get it. Grigor's still playing because he lost 3 or 4 years. There was a lefty, Alvin, that you remember, that after a car accident came back and reached number 1 in the world.
Tomas Mustar.
Right? And you heard it right here. May not have played that long had he not been in that car accident. So there's still I'm still trying to get back to what I have. I'm still trying to get back to the tennis I missed. I think there's a storyline on each one of them. But because the rest of them are all retired, right? And so I'm just getting at something, Alvin, that I think that is relevant. It's very pertinent, but it's also very real. After 30, there's nothing else left to prove. I've done it already. It's time for family. It's time for kicking back. I'd give tennis all I had. I gave tennis 20 years. Right?
I would even push back and say it's not about the after 30. It's about the after 27. The conversation is not about, and the conversation is not about like why I'm still out here, that I'm out here still doing it. It's that you've already seen my best.
You've seen my best, and I can't do anything better. And
if I could have, I would have.
I would have by now.
I would have by now. So, unfortunately, I'm looking at you, Alexander Zverev. Like, I'm looking at you, Taylor Fritz. I'm looking at you, Andre Rublev. Right?
Yeah.
These are guys who are perennial top 10s who are highly unlikely to win a Grand Slam in their careers. And I feel like this might be the last year.
They need to make a move.